Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Edjuenka, and we have a very important program for you. With us all the way from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have manager, Mr. Lennox Bowman, and President, Mr. Kelvin Pompey of the General Employees Cooperative Credit Union of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll be discussing the credit union, its importance to the Vincentian community, and of course, to communities generally. So we're going to have a really great show. I want to welcome my guests, Mr. Lennox Bowman and Mr. Kelvin Pompey. Welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yes, and welcome to the BVI.
Yeah, thank you. First time for me, and it's really a pleasure being here.
That's great. You've been here before, Mr.
First time for me as well, but you know, so far so good.
So you're hoping to get around and take care a little bit of the island?
A little bit, more than a little bit.
The islands.
More than a little bit.
So like you plan to have some fun?
That too.
Well, we do have a lot of intention because back home we say that, you know, more than half of our population live in Tortola.
Well, you know, I was thinking about that before I started the show, and I was wondering how much you knew about the immigration of Vincentians to the BVI. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Vincentians were perhaps the earliest migrants to come to the BVI and to come in such numbers. And somebody have to correct me, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that Vincentians perhaps is the largest population of other Caribbean persons here in the Virgin Islands.
So we have been reliably informed. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, so, and the relationship has always been very good with Vincentians here in the Virgin Islands. So. And Vincentian has made a significant contribution to the development of the Virgin Islands as well. So it's a good relationship.
Yes,
it's a good relationship. So we hope you enjoy yourself while you're here. Now, you, as leaders in the credit union, talk to us a little bit about, you know, why you're here in the BVI, what your goals are, what you intend to have happen.
Well, we represent the General Employees Cooperative Credit Union, which is one of the 4 credit unions now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We used to have 9, we have now whittled down to 4. And we have 3 pretty large ones. And credit unions are a cooperative of people, helping people. We are a financial cooperative. And basically what we do, we mobilize resources of our members who are our owners, and we mobilize those resources and then make those resources available back to the members in the form of different services and products which we offer. The idea is that the credit unions exist as a cooperative to make the lives of our members better.
Okay, when you say back end products, you're talking about financial products.
Financial products and services.
And services. And
but
so tell us a little bit about, just briefly, like do an example of what a financial product that a credit union might provide.
Good. So to become a member of the credit union, you have to obtain shares. So you will have different classes of shares and different classes of deposits. You will have equity shares, you will have regular shares, you will have various types of deposit savings, fixed deposits, and a myriad of those kinds of services, as well as we'll have loans for various purposes. And those are the financial products. Then we have a lot of social products and services which we offer. There's things like a debt benefit service which we offer to our members at a very reasonable rate. And we also have what we call a social development fund, which, unlike many other financial institutions, are being a member-owned and member-driven. We provide these services to the member very cheaply. And in the case of the Social Development Fund, it is a fund where, say, each member would contribute on an annual basis $20. But because of the massive numbers which we have almost 40,000 members. So this fund will be there to help our members when they might have some sort of disaster befalling them, you know, some sickness, disaster of whatever kind, the house burn, child ill, and so on. So it really is people's putting the ideas together, having faith in themselves to manage their own affair for their own benefit.
But that's great. I mean, that's interesting because that's something that we have attempted briefly here in the Virgin Islands, but I don't think we've had much success. And I think it's good to hear someone come and talk about it in that way, perhaps give us some encouragement and some motivation to pool our resources for our own benefit.
Absolutely.
And that's different from a bank in
well, it's fundamentally different because with a bank, you have maybe a few shareholders. Now, when a surplus is made in a bank, or as they would call it, a profit is made in a bank, that profit goes to the shareholders. It may very well be one shareholder, it might be two shareholders, it might be a few shareholders. With the credit union, every member is an owner, is a shareholder. So whatever surpluses are made from operations, that surplus is just shared in equal proportion of share value back to to the members. So the members share 100% in that.
Okay.
Of course, the fees and so on for credit unions are in some cases non-existent, but at best, at worst, very, very small indeed compared to the banks.
And those will just be fees so to manage whatever.
Fees to manage, fees for services, you know, different fees that you might pay for a service. Some credit unions don't charge fees. Like our credit union, we don't do a lot of fees. And but even where fees are done by the credit union movement compared to the other financial institutions,
so you rely on income that the union generates from investments? How does that work?
From loans, basically. Our major asset class would be loans back to our members. Not only is it a better way of spreading the risk, but it also ensures that by doing so, you make funds available to our members for their own development. So it's not so much about investing in other areas, which credit unions do, but the majority of the investment
is with the members.
Between 70 to 80% should be back to the members.
And of course the rates are very, very favorable.
Very favorable. I mean, the standard credit union rate throughout the Caribbean, the general credit union rate is 1% per month on the reducing balance. That works out to well below 12%, you know. And people have come to, you know, appreciate that beneficial rate and have continued to do more and more business with the credit union.
Okay. So you're here in the BVI and you're here to speak to the Vincentian population in the BVI mainly. What information are you bringing to them? Why are you talking to them at this particular time?
Well, while GECU, General Employees Cooperative Credit Union, is based in St. Vincent, we recognize that our membership is worldwide. And as we mentioned earlier, we do have a significant Vincentian population in Tortola. And many of them are members of GECU and do take opportunity of the products and services that we have available. So it's about improving the access to our members here. Because, of course, persons here are not in a position to regularly come and check their balances and do products and services. So we have taken this opportunity to come to meet essentially our members, meet the Vincentian diaspora here, and to give them an idea of how the credit union is operating.
You come to report.
How we are of course, they are owners of the business. The Vincentian members up here are owners of GECU. And we have a responsibility as members of the board and as management to come to them and say, this is what we are doing. These are some of the new products are available, because we have some exciting new products, and so that we want to let our members know about. And to hear from them, their ideas, their concerns and suggestions as to how we can continue to manage and grow the credit union. And
they are very important members as well. I mean, no member is more important than the other, but we have a significant sector in Tortola. And we spoke about them coming to Tortola and making a life for themselves, working hard, contributing to the development of Tortola. But it concurrently, they contribute significantly to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because large sums of monies are repatriated, and in an effort for them to get ahead even better, steps in the credit union, where, you know, if you want to make a big capital investment, you can't pay it from one salary. So a lot of our members up here take the opportunity that they have with us to take loans for mortgages, for different things, which they pay over a period of time. So it is a win-win situation where, yes, you are out here, but you are working hard, developing yourself, but making a significant contribution to not only your family in St. Vincent, but St. Vincent on a whole.
Okay. And you're going to have meetings. That's coming up. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the meetings. I'm sure everyone's going to be interested to know where you're going to be and when, so they can to get there. We won't talk about the fun that you're planning to have, but just the meetings. But I see that tomorrow, I think you plan to have some fun tomorrow. But tomorrow evening, you're going to meet with the Vincentian Association, and this is a month. No, you're going to meet with their monthly meeting.
Yeah.
So the monthly meeting, you're going to attend their monthly meeting,
Right.
and talk to them about the credit union.
Yeah, I mean, they're having a monthly meeting, and they have been gracious enough to invite us to attend. We're going to take the opportunity to engage them, or they take the opportunity to engage us about the credit union. But, you know, we can also talk about so many other things, you know, and things that they may want to know.
Investment opportunities.
All of these things, you know, what's happening.
Products that you have.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that session, and as a matter of fact, is a good a time as any to congratulate the association for having been able to keep themselves together. I really want to use the opportunity as well to thank Sean Rose, who is the president of the association, and I met a while ago too with the vice president, who is Devon Batiste. And I think the association up here continues to do a lot of good work. Just recently, one of the first places to react to our Christmas Eve disaster last year was the association up here, and it made us very proud, because they came down and they sent a lot of stuff into St. Vincent, which was really, really needed and well received. And it gives you that feeling that umbilical connection is there wherever you are. So, you know, I really want to congratulate them on that from GECU. And hopefully we'll be able to meet and talk about other ways in which we can work to our mutual benefit. Okay.
And then on Friday, you have some radio appearances. You're going to be at Z-Rod FM in the morning with Godites.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, throughout, I think, this show, the radio show and so forth, is basically to generate the necessary publicity to hear from members again, to let them know we are here. Because all this will essentially culminate on Saturday with a town hall meeting that we would be having at the Burman Conference Hall, that's the New Testament Church of God. And so as we go through this week, this interview, the radio interviews, and so we would be highlighting and sensitizing persons. They would then have their questions and comments, and then we all meet together on Saturday, essentially to have a more in-depth discussion as to GECU and how we can better serve the Vincentian community in total.
One of the things we want to get our members generally to understand is the important role that these members are playing via the instrument of a credit union to develop themselves and the country. It is clear that a lot of the islands' economies these days, the governments are overstretched. So we have an overstretched public sector. We have a private sector which is at best underperforming, not just in St. Vincent, but throughout the world, actually.
Throughout the world. And more so throughout the region.
And so herein is a demonstration of the importance of the cooperative sector. So you have the public sector overstretched, the private sector underperforming. It is the cooperative sector. That sector, which in St. Vincent now represents the highest credit union penetration in the world. Meaning that when you take all the credit union members in any one country and you divide it by the economically active citizens between the age of 15 to 65, we in St. Vincent have the highest penetration in the world, 91%. Second is Barbados and the third is Ireland. So we want our people to understand the important role that credit unions play. Without credit unions, sometimes I don't know what people will do, because when there are so many of our members who the first account they own in their life, first time they have a savings account, is with a credit union. So we want that appreciation to come across, and people know that we are into something which is good, something which is meaningful, and something which is developmental.
Now you're celebrating your 50th anniversary?
We celebrated 50 years last year.
50.
And you had a year-long celebration?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we really went the mile, because of course 50 years we really had a gala time, and I think we recognize and been looking back from where we came 50 years ago. That's in about 60 something or so, 50 something. You had about 6 Vincentians who came together, and one of them still very much alive, and she would tell you they started by pooling and putting together $1 per month.
A bad nine.
And that's what credit unionism is about, because from that it spread and it expanded and so forth, and from 6 members and $6 in the late 60s, we have now grown to 40,000 members. We have an asset base in excess of 183-84 million.
That's impressive.
We have share capital of close to 90 million. Currently, we have loans out of in excess of just about $100 million. So we're not speaking here essentially of a small, as we say, mortgage shop operation. This is an institution that has grown and flourished and prospered because it has been managed by its members. And I think that is important. When you own something and you're part of the management of that institution, I think you take much better care of it.
Well, you're absolutely right, and you have to get that buy-in of the membership, and I think perhaps that might be one of the most challenging things about a credit union. What structure does a credit union take? Because as I said off the air, we were talking off the air briefly, I would like us in the Virgin Islands to get a sense of how this is done, because we had what we call, or we have what we call a BVI investment club, where a few people, not a lot of people, pool their resources together, but nothing as large as a credit union, and they have been able to accomplish some really great economic feats. And I could imagine what a credit union with a broader base, broader membership would do in the BVI. So I would really like us to get a sense of that unifying factor. I have this saying, unity is the key to our success.
Absolutely.
As a people, generally, whether we all members of the African diaspora. I like to just put it that way. But is there a formal structure one begins with a credit union? How does that work?
I'll tell you, even before I get to that, you made a point about unity. And credit unions demonstrate a unity through differentiation. What makes us different is what unites us and able to create the benefits. But I want to say from the outset that there's a very rigorous governance structure within the credit union movement. And it is becoming even more and more rigorous. And I'm very pleased that the credit union is part of that working together to make it even more rigorous. When I say rigorous, I don't mean in a bad way. I mean to make sure that people's money
is secure and well managed,
well managed
and accounted for.
Yes. So in terms of its structure, credit unions are governed largely by a Credit Union Act, number 12 of 2012 in the case of St. Vincent, but all the different regions have the act. Most of the Caribbean islands now have a kind of harmonized act, but credit unions throughout the world, then there are regulations to the act, and each credit union has its own bylaws. The little differences of how they do things, what the members say is the extent of the flexibility within the act. And credit unions now, a lot of them are merging. So what you're finding now is a trust of amalgamation among credit unions. So instead of you having a whole set of splintered credit unions, small credit unions, they are merging because they realize that, well, in this day and age, you come together, you merge, you amalgamate, you get economies of scale in so many of your areas of operation, in your loans, in your management, in your marketing, in your volunteerism. Makes you a stronger credit union.
Unity is the key to your success.
Unity is the key to your success. So we have that going on. Each credit union, the apex is really your membership. When your membership get together at your annual general meeting, they discuss the finances, the board will report to them and so on. At that meeting, they will elect a new board. So you have a board elected by the membership. That board of directors will then set the policies and so on within the guidelines of what the membership wants and so on for the credit union. So you have a board of directors there's also a credit committee elected at the AGM as well, and very importantly, a supervisory and compliance committee. We're talking governance here. So you have the board and these two committees. The board, well, duty first and foremost is to make sure that they have appointed a CEO who is capable to run the affairs, and then you have the rest of your staff and so on. In our case, in GECU's case, we operate by strategic planning methodologies and work planning methodologies. So we have a strategic plan in place, which we get input from the entire membership staff and so on. All our external stakeholders can have an input in it. That may be for 3 years. Every year we do a work plan for what we're going to do this year. And our departments, our various offices have their own work plan which they have to fit into the overall work plan, because we will set ourselves some objectives for the year. And after that, it is about the monitoring and reporting of what you say you want to do. And I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for the persons out there could understand, right? So you have set out what you want to do. Now is monitoring and evaluating your performance.
You have your secretariat or your managing staff.
Yes. So we will have regular board meetings, meetings of the credit committee, meetings of the supervisory committee, meetings of any other ad hoc committee. We have an education arm, because ongoing education is one of our social goals in the credit union movement, and which incidentally is part of this trip, to educate our members and to market ourselves to the members to find out what they want us to do for them. And straight down the road, the departments will have to report on their performances. The branches will have to report on the performances. So it's an accountability right now.
How many employees you have in the credit union?
We have about 47 now at GECU.
Okay. And you have your own offices?
And we have 4 offices. We have an office in Kingston, which is our main office. We have one in Georgetown, which is headed by Baldwin Johnny, who I believe is well known up here, because I know he has a lot of family up here and so on. and we have one in Beckway and we have one in Union Island. We are currently looking into building 2 more offices, one in South Rivers and one in the north of the country, the northwest of the country, western side of the country, at Chumuka. So we are expanding because we want to take the services to the people. We want to make sure that we have proper access to our services by the population.
We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to continue the discussion with the membership, how you become a member, and what your responsibilities are as members, and how that works, and how you share in the wealth, so to speak. So keep it locked right here to Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. If you've just joined us, I'm having a very, very interesting conversation with 2 managers of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines General Employees Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Lennox Bowman, the manager, and Mr. Kelvin Pompey, the president. And hope you've been paying attention. Credit union seems like the way to go. And we really need to start thinking about having a more cooperative spirit here in the territory, so we can pool our resources to achieve a lot of the economic goals that we are thinking about in the economic vision that we have. So I'm hoping that you will be paying some attention. We left off talking about the structure of the credit union, and I want to talk a little bit about the membership before we get into the services, the products, and new products, and the online services. I mean, it's fantastic. Yeah, how do you become a member? How that works?
Well, it's easy. You can become a member from the day you're born. We don't take you before you're delivered, but we take you after you're born. And according to our Credit Union Act, in the Caribbean, you don't even have to be a citizen of St. Vincent.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Anyone, anywhere in the world could become a member of the Caribbean Union. You
can be a Caribbean citizen. And if you are a Vincentian, any Vincentian in the diaspora, you're also eligible to join the credit union.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. And I know it might sound like a joke to some people when you say you can become a member from the time you're born, but I want to make sure that it's not a joke. You mean that for example, if I get a child, I can open an account.
You can open an account
for the child,
yeah, in trust.
And I could. What do you get? A book?
You get a book. You get it. What happens is that full membership, according to the Act, is from 14 years old, but you can become a depositor, which in a way allows you a lot of the benefits of being membership. Of being a member. When at age 14, then you get full benefits of member. That's just the way.
But you could start building wealth for your baby.
Absolutely.
And you can benefit. I think that's important to know.
For instance, in our credit union, even if your parent is not a member, but you are a member from early, when you get to the point to go to secondary school, you are eligible to apply for one of our scholarships. That's a major benefit. The deposits which you have from a baby you're born or whatever, right up to 14, attracts a very, very attractive interest rates comparatively. So there are a lot of benefits that you can get, and it's just that you won't be able to vote at a general meeting. It's one man, one vote at the general meeting, but you won't be able to vote. So everybody is entitled.
But I just thought that was an important point to make, and I just wanted that clarified. But we could continue with the membership.
And we are non-discriminatory. Membership is voluntary. You come, you say we volunteer to be a member, and you come and you open your account. You work with.
Is there a minimum amount that you have to open an account with?
Right now, it's around 150 EC dollars because you have to your equity share, your minimum equity share, which are called the qualifying shares, is 100 EC dollars or 100 shares, $1 each. And you come and you you join. We encourage you when you join to take part in our member educational programs. You get some information on what the credit union is about. The person who opened the account for you will talk you through a little
the
bit
uses and the benefits.
Yes, and we will give you some literature as well. We have been growing at the rate, we have been registering in excess of 2,000 members a year for the past 15 years.
So
let's say
it
goes between 18 and 2,000. Now, we are not saying that that is going to continue, because that alone is contingent on St. Vincent growing at the same pace, and that is not happening. It's not going to happen. But the point is that people have been having that kind of confidence in the credit union movement.
But if you open to the Caribbean, then you can't tell how much you would grow.
Absolutely. And but somehow we have not had that cross membership, so to speak.
Because perhaps every other islands in their own right have
their credit unions as well. They have the credit unions.
And what you might look to do is amalgamate inter-island multinational credit union.
Well, that's interesting, because that's very interesting. Edu and I gotta get that right.
That's good.
Man.
That's good.
That's interesting, because what we are working on now, and hopefully we want to be the first credit union, along with a credit union in Trinidad. We are working on now on some shared services with that credit union, because there's a connection between St. Vincent, Grenada and Trinidad, where you have a lot of people from St. Vincent and Grenada in Trinidad. We're going to start with Trinidad and move to Grenada, where you can come to our credit union. If you travel from Trinidad to St. Vincent, you can come to our credit union and then do business. So we have it online. So it makes the point you're making. That's how we can connect with each other, because the banks are connected
worldwide.
So we know that we also have to be connected. And so we are looking at, so membership, we do not discriminate on the grounds of anything to be a member. That is part of one of our principles of non-discrimination.
Let's talk about the new products that you've developed.
One thing with my management staff at GECO is that we get very bored when we're not doing something new. Right? The president is here, so he knows.
You have to be innovative.
Yes. So, and it really does help, because we've had the kind of leadership at the level of the board and the membership. The membership drives us to be new and to keep reinventing ourselves and elaborating and evolving. And the board will takes that kind of approach as well. So we try to do something new all the time. When we're not opening another branch with some kind of new service we have in, well, let me just deal with the services. We have a suite of loan products. Our loan products are not, you wouldn't hear GECO having a loan product which is quick or fast or them kind of things. Whether the cash is fast, quick or moving slowly, you're not going to get that from us. What you're going to get from us is a weather in the storm loan, a tank loan, a loan while you earn loan, a computer loan, loans which add value to our members. Because part of what we do is to try to counsel our members all the time. So we have those loans. We have a suite of deposit as well. You could get a Christmas account. You can have ordinary deposits, a savings, a fixed deposits, what have you. We have social services and products. We have a debt benefit account for a single $20 EC per annum. You are eligible to benefit, or your estate is eligible to benefit from a funeral grant of $5,000. So just think about it. For one deposit per annum of $20
per annum. That's $20 EC per annum.
$20 EC, and then you can get $5,000
That goes a long way to help with the burial
Exactly.
costs. Burial costs is
Absolutely.
through the roof.
And the other very important one that we have is called the Social Development Fund, which I alluded to before, where, again, for a single $20, we are pooling our resources and creating a pool of fund so that if something goes wrong with one of our members, we can assist them. I mean, your house might burn and we might be able to build back the whole house for you, but we can help in some way. And that is what it means to be in a financial institution where you're adding value to the members' lives.
And I'm listening and I'm fascinated by the whole thing, because here we have an economic institution that is, or financial institution that is geared towards developing their membership socially, educationally, economically, and is really looking out for the interests of the members as opposed to just doing a business. It's, I mean, yes, it is a business, but it's a business that cares. If you got to pay me for that. You got to pay me for that slogan.
I really like that, because the model of the credit union of people helping people is fascinating.
Yes, it is.
Because somehow it blends together financial management with issues of
social
living, social development.
Yes, absolutely.
And essentially what we have is thousands of persons pooling their resources together. They're $10, they're $100, they're $200, whatever you have, and then having that wide pool of money is then able
to help each other.
To help each other.
Yes.
And it's not just about just members, because the credit union, especially GECU, is not a basically selfish organization. We are selfless because this credit union is into the community in terms of social and economic development, in culture, in the arts, in sports, in the education system. Wherever you go, we ensure that a part of our surplus goes towards developing the communities, the homes and societies of our members.
Inherent in your nature as an organization is a social help.
What some businesses refer to as corporate social responsibility, and may think that is fashionable to so do.
Yes, yes.
Because it creates a good PR. Yeah, for them. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why they do it, because there are a lot of good businesses out there who really mean well for the community.
But the point is that this is the credit union main focus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is our philosophy.
That's
this is our reason that we exist. So we don't even, in our credit union, you hardly would hear anybody talk about corporate social responsibility.
You are the corporate social responsibility.
We are the leaders.
You are the corporate
That's our philosophy. That's why we exist.
Yeah. We got online services. Now, that sounds interesting because a lot of instances, it costs a lot of money to send money around the region. You know, I usually make a joke sometimes that it costs you more to send the money than the money you actually send.
You're correct.
You know, and now with the modern technology, certainly that no longer has to be the case. So what is the credit union doing to facilitate that?
We recognize that has always been a problem, and we had not developed a network in the Caribbean or around the world specific to credit unions. The World Council of Credit Union has developed one, and we are looking at that. There's another one which we are, the CCCU, the Confederation of Credit Unions, are also looking at, which we are having some meetings now. The idea is we would like a network, a world network, that our members can go, deposit some money and say, I want it to go to my credit union, St. Vincent, GECU, account number XYZ, and it goes straight to that credit union. In the interim, our members have had to, and members of most credit unions have had to resort to either sending money home to somebody, and if you don't have somebody good on the other side, you know how those things can get a little
could be
dicey.
a challenge.
Yeah, it could be a challenge. And or some people been using the other money transfer mechanism to send monies home and so on. And because we encourage people to contribute towards the shares on a monthly basis, it becomes a challenge trying to send the money every month. In our case, what we have done, we have said, listen, if you want to send $100 a month home to your credit union account, if you don't want to send it every month, you can send it twice a year. You can send $600 one time and $600 the other time. We can facilitate it at home by putting it into a special account and doing an internal transfer. So on your share account, it looks as though you are making a physical transfer to once a month. But what you've done, you've sent 6 months worth, and we will do the internal transfers for you. So we are really working on that. In that regard, I can tell you that GECU was the first credit union way back in 2008 or so to have an ATM service. So we have allowed our members an ATM service. We are soon to upgrade that to an international debit card service. Hopefully before the middle of this year, we shall have an international debit card that our members will be able to avail themselves of. We are also, by the end of next month, our point of sale service, so people can use the ATM cards, and of course when they get the international debit card, to go to the supermarket and to go to different places and shop, which would again cut down the amount of monies people have to carry around. We also develop a mobile app.
A mobile app
where you can log on, you can go on to the mobile app on your telephone,
on your smartphone,
on your smartphone,
iPad, your laptop,
yes,
whatever.
and you can access your account.
Yes,
right? And we have our online services as well. So you apply for your online service password and so on. You get that, and you can go and move monies between accounts right now. So we are getting there. We are definitely getting there. We are focused. The board is focused on getting there, and we have some of these services in place. The one that we really want to which we're capital on is if we get a network that you can send money straight into your account.
Yeah,
on a regular basis.
Yeah. That would.
So we have our mobile app where you can go in and you could interrogate your account. You can see how your account is going. You can order a statement online. You can order a check online. You could order to make some payment. You can apply for a loan online, and so on. So we have that. You could either go to our website and do that, or you could use the mobile facility to do that. And within a short space of time, well, we have the ATM cards, and within a short space of time, we'll have the point of sale and the international debit
and
card.
the full online service.
Full suite of online services.
Yeah, because it's not difficult. The technology is there, the infrastructure is already there.
And
it's just a matter of developing or fitting your plan into that structure.
And these are really being driven by our younger members, because we pride ourselves that every year for the past 12 years, just under 70% of our new recruits, the new members, were under the age of 30.
You're making sure that young people know what to do with their money.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
because we have a tendency, well, I'm not young, but young people have a tendency to squander money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me watch that.
All right.
Yeah, we fall under the 30 o'clock.
Okay.
As Mr. Pompey is pointing out.
So we want to talk about these shows that we have.
Yes. So the people can hear you.
What we would really like the people to come out to this. We're up here, and it's not about hard selling. It's about engaging people who have a common interest in their development.
It's about reporting.
Yes, and St. Vincent development.
Yes.
We want to hear what we can do for you more. So we want you to come out to the town hall meeting on
Saturday
from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at the Roman Conference Hall, New Testament Church of God in Bowers Bay. and we want you to come out. We want you to come out and just let us know what you're thinking, what are some of your needs, how can the credit union respond to those needs. And we will share with you what we have been doing, and we can have a really fun exchange.
Mr. Pompey, Mr. Bowman, it's been a real pleasure having you on Spotlight. Thank you very much for coming, and I wish you every success, and hopefully, I don't know if you could partner with other Virgin Islanders here in the territory to bring them in to the credit union as well, or help to start a branch here or start another credit union here.
Well, we know we're going to energize. we know there's a lot of energy is going to take place, and we really want people to understand it as a tool of development, of taking people out of poverty.
Yes.
And developing their country.
Thank you very much.
So EduEnca, I think I got it right now.
You got it right.
EduEnca.
You got it right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Spotlight is seen live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. here on JTV Channel 55, and we broadcast Sundays at 2:30 p.m. Like Spotlight on Facebook. You could participate in discussions on the issues coming from Spotlight, find out about upcoming guests and topics, or you can suggest your own. I'm EduEnca, reminding you that when the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited and H. Lavity Stout Community College.